Okay, well, we've got Cameron Brandt, Director of Research at EPFR Global, who's now joining us. Cameron, good to have you with us here. Thank you very much for your time. Again, I was looking at the latest data, weekly data, which you put out, and India, along with, the list of countries, emerging market, which are receiving flows still is shorter and shorter, but India is still there. Is the quantum reducing, though? What are you seeing?
No, actually, the momentum seems to have picked up slightly in the past couple of weeks. India, along interestingly with Taiwan, seems to have broken from the pack, while sentiment towards China, if it hasn't cracked, has certainly begun to feel the combined impact of the multiple headwinds that it faces. Interestingly, China seems to have taken the burgeoning interest in Latin America with it, specifically flows to Brazil and Peru, mandated funds. But Mexico is enjoying a modest renaissance because of its strong linkage to the U.S. economy.
What do you see in terms of flows into emerging markets like India now? What are the numbers looking like up until now? And what is the prognosis as we move along into the last quarter of this calendar year?
Well, starting with India, they remain very strong. Last week's was into dedicated funds was over 700 million. It was certainly one of the top 10 weekly inflows since we started tracking these funds back in the late 1990s. Broader sentiment is definitely waning at the moment. Gem funds have had several weeks of outflows, not shocking levels, but a steady grind. And investors really are taking a step back and waiting for some clues on whether China's economy will regain momentum. Obviously, as India becomes the front runner, the scrutiny picks up, and I've certainly noticed more discussion now than I have in several months about India's vulnerabilities. And the most immediately obvious of those is the current levels of oil prices, but policy and fiscal policies as well are starting to get some slightly more critical discussion.
Hi, Cameron. Good morning. As of now, as the recent numbers, you're not seeing any kind of slowdown, because time and again, when you've joined us on the program, you have told us that flows into India are rock solid. And as of the latest reading, you're saying there's no slowdown, right? We're getting that correct?
Yeah, there was a sort of, I wouldn't call it a slowdown, but a slight loss of pace a few weeks back. But no, the solid is what I would call them. And just before we started talking, I did sort of check the most recent flows into dedicated India funds, and they're continuing at the levels we saw last week. So, it's definitely the strongest of the emerging markets at the moment. And as I said, really only Taiwan is challenging it in terms of flows to dedicated funds.
All right, we leave it at that, Cameron. Thanks a lot for joining in and giving us a quick take on the flow situation. Let's take a